like,
Mr. Gar.
Mr. Gar did no Ford. Ford deserved it more than anybody.
No, that's the guy who would hand out the anti-smoking pamphlets.
Oh, yeah, I forget.
He actually had meetings. It was like the Quit Club or something.
Was he the one that had? He would always wear shorts.
I thought I remember Dagenhart barely because I was a freshman. Mr. Gar, he had the weird coconut head bowl cut, and he kind of was hunched over.
Oh yeah.
And we'd all be like, we're like miserable, angsty teenagers hacking darts at 7 a.m. in December out front of the school, and here comes this guy with his trash can. He had pamphlets for his meeting on Wednesdays in a trash can. He's like, come on, guys, throw your pack in the trash can, commit to quit, or some gay catchphrase. And literally people would be like, fuck you, Gar. Go fuck yourself. Like, get the fuck out of here. He'd be like, come on, fellas.
Come on, fellas.
Come on, commit to quit. Throw the pack in the trash can. And literally no one ever threw their fucking cigs away. And I think maybe a couple people went to the meetings just as like a goof, but like, I think every one of those kids still smokes cigs too. Like, I'm over here hacking nicotine. Like,
most likely.
I wasn't mean to him, but I remember like Smallwood and Shep and like that whole group of the older kids were all like, not those guys specifically, but like someone in that circle would be like, dude, go fuck yourself. Like,
did you ever see the picture of him when they were doing health class Jeopardy, and he's like holding the piece of
his
paper?
Cock.
No, yeah, almost. He's like holding, like, you know how like they did it all ghetto before they had the smart boards. They just had like pieces of paper they taped to the whiteboard. It was like Jeopardy, and it was like all these like things, like health ailments, and for whatever reason, he's holding the one that says anal sex like, behind his back in this like pose, and everybody was like dying laughing. That photo got sent around the school so many fucking times.
I never saw that one,
dude. Holy shit, that was like you know, you used to be able to like save the threads on your phone, like when you had like an Envy. That was the top thread for me and my buddies. Like the first group chat I was in, it was like that, and then this kid Ben Pollock, it was him waving. I don't know, we called it Benzite, like because it was like Enzite. He looked like Smiling Bob. That's. Now I'm rambling.
Dr. Gar, fucking Mr. Gar having anal sex.
Mr. Gar having anal sex. But yeah, who was the guy? Mr. Mac or whatever? The guy that had the fucking short shorts always? I
forgot about him. He had the ponytail?
Yeah. No, that was Mr. Mr. McLaughlin.
Yeah, he's a crossing guard. He has in Summers Point on Groveland Avenue, because I work over there all the time.
Yeah.
He wears like the high vis vest, and then he has like a high vis cowboy hat. I posted him like a week or two ago.
That's pretty sick.
And then Donna messaged me, and she was like, "That's Mr. Glock, the fucking math teacher."
He almost fought a black kid in my class. Like,
that's pretty cool.
The kid.
I remember hearing that story.
Yeah, the kid threw a fucking, like, you know, the big ass math books. He threw his math book, like lobbed it like from like 3 rows back so that it could land.
Teachers should be allowed to fucking lay a whooping on,
especially when you're 5'4", dude. Like, you would have fucking gotten his ass kicked, but like I think he could have held his own. He's got like 12 kids. Like,
some of these kids will test you.
Oh yeah, that kid for sure.
If they're like 16 or older and they want to go, you should be able to go. 5 minutes in the box, fucking get back into class.
I think that we should have like a more Japanese, what's that movie called? Where the kids...
You go into like the boxing ring and you just duke it out.
Well, like blood sports, sort of. Yeah, I do like that. The Kumite. But no, what's the fucking one? It's a Japanese movie about the school where
Karate Kid.
No. Battle Royale is what it's called. But yeah, it's about this like school where like all the kids, Japanese school system has become both like it's like a hybridization of like penitentiary and like education, and part of that is like there's this game that exists where they take 100 kids and just put them in a fucking school with a bunch of weapons, and they're like,
Jesus,
whoever wins.
Sounds like that Stone Cold movie where they put him on an island with a bunch of weapons or whatever.
So it's this was like one of the predecessors to it. Yeah, this is called Battle Royale. It's a fucking awesome movie. It's a really good movie.
I don't know if I agree with that. But.
No, I've seen it multiple times. It's a great movie. It's fucking awesome. You want to talk about a fucked up one? The Man from Behind the Sun. That's a fucked up Japanese movie. Unit fucking 571 or whatever the fuck. The Japanese soldiers that did human torture experiments that put Mengele to shame during World War II. Like, they would take your hands.
That's creepy, dude.
They'd take your hands, put them in water, and then stick them outside in freezing cold temperatures, and then pull them back in and peel the skin off so that your bones were there. And they would figure out how long the dexterity on your fingers would last, and like they would do vivisectomies, which are having a living person under sedation have all of their organs removed, like an autopsy. Yeah,
I don't like it.
I don't like it. It's a good movie.
It's not for me. No, I'm saying like that torture shit really happened. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
That gives me the heebie-jeebies. I can never think of peeling someone's skin off.
That looks fucking awesome.
It's so deep.
It's very satisfying. Well, how did you like? Well, let's brighten it up. How did you like the AI generated the Pixar Holocaust?
That was the best,
dude. That's
the Chicken Wizard was
Chicken Wizard
that
rules.
got me in such a way. I giggled about that like all day. Dude.
The Asian
every
driving,
time I would open our text thread, I would just be like, oh my god.
The Asian driving one got me the worst.
I don't remember that one.
It's the Ludovico treatment, the thing they used to pry your eyelids open, and it's just an Asian lady driving.
That was a good thread.
That was.
I can't believe 4chan made that guy beat that lady to death. Didn't he get like 20 years in jail or something?
I think he's like still a fugitive. I know he got arrested at one point. He might still be a fugitive.
Oh wow.
But I'm not entirely
rooting
sure.
for him.
I'm not entirely sure what happened to War Machine.
You got to root for the fugitives. When I know that guy was a murderer in Pennsylvania, but I was rooting for him.
That was so fucking funny.
Stanhope mentioned that he was on Greg Fitzsimmons' podcast. Shout out to Fitz Dog Radio, one of our peers. I haven't listened to Stanhope stuff in a while, and then he popped up on another show, so I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna listen to this. And he mentioned, he's like, whenever there's someone on the run, like, I don't care how fucked up what they did was, like, I'm rooting for them.
Yeah.
I want them to get away. He's like, I don't know what it is. He's like, I'm always rooting for the fucking guy on the run. Like, you want him to fucking get away.
That was part of, like, the charm.
He's like, that guy, like, murdered a lady and stuff, but he's like, I was rooting for him. I didn't want them to catch him.
That's, like, part of the charm and the allure of, like, Chris Dorner.
It's the underdog.
It was like, he was, like, the military guy that fought back. I think at the end of the day, he killed 2 hookers, like, and a bunch of the cops. Like, he might have tied him up. I can't remember, like, at this point. It was like, but yeah, like, that was like a 3-day pursuit. And that was, like, going on while, like, the debate, the, like, presidential debates were going on, if I'm not mistaken. And I remember, like, walking around my college that was going to have, like, Obama at it in a couple of weeks, wearing a shirt that says "Can't Corner the Dorner" that I made myself with Sharpie, and people being like, "You can't wear that." It's like, fuck you. Like,
this is America.
This is America. I can say whatever I fucking want. Like,
holy shit.
Yeah, there's always a good fugitive. That guy that jumped out of the cop car that he stole at full speed, like, rest in peace to that guy. Sky King too. Sky King was a good one. That dude in Oregon that stole a plane. And was cool. Doing loop-de-loops and stuff like that. Apparently,
he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna put her down. Been pretty bad for me lately, so sorry."
It was kind of fucked up.
It was suicide, right?
Yeah, he killed himself. He ended up flying into the side of a mountain. But yeah, he
on purpose though.
Yeah, he deliberately did. He deliberately made sure too that he flew into a place that wasn't populated, so that he wouldn't be that like he would every step of the way.
Still selfish. Dude. It's gonna cost the airline a lot of money, or the insurance company. They're gonna pay for the plane.
It was a fucking prop plane.
That's a lot of money.
No, they're not. They're like $900. Like the jet.
I thought the one where there was a guy who was flying around like a Boeing 737.
It's not a Boeing 737. No, this was like a dual engine Cessna. It was like
I saw a clip where it was a guy like, unless it was just B-roll that they had on like a reel.
No, it was like a dual engine Cessna is like 2 props on either side. It was up there. It's a big plane, but it's still like a single. It's like not a huge.
They're
like
$900 though.
It's like mostly
cheaper
glider.
Than a Hawk 250.
They said how fucking inexpensive these planes were. Like they're not. It's like if you're gonna steal something, it's not like you stole like a fucking Learjet or like a fucking.
I was just being a cunt anyway. But
yeah. But the dude used flight simulators, and that's how he learned how to fucking fly. And then he just like saw an opportunity when he was moving the planes because he worked on the tarmac. And was like, fuck it, this one has skis in it, and I'm gonna just go up. And it was one that he just had. Apparently, a bunch of the moves that he did.
He was like doing like barrel rolls. And
he's doing like fucking Larion rolls and shit that like physically is impossible in a fucking plane like that. But he pulled it off. Like he should have like stalled and crashed like several times, but
nothing to lose,
nothing to gain either.
Yeah,
science.
Pretty dark. I wanted to circle back to something like I said that fascinates me is faking your own death. How would you fake your own death, or you know, what's the motive that people normally do?
Would I be doing it?
Debt, or is it like?
Well, I was gonna say, what would the motive be? Like in this case, I'm just faking my own death for the sake of faking my own death, just to see if I could, or am I doing this because I got like somebody's coming after?
Financial gain.
Financial gain. Okay, so it's not because I owe someone money. I will be making money. This will be profitable for me.
Yeah, some fucked up situation where you're like, I'll get my family to get the money and then I'll fucking skip town. Like, how would you... It's not like it's easy in the movies where you call the wolf and he gives you a fake ID and then you fucking... Like, I guess you'd have to go dark web to get some fake paperwork or something? Like,
no, absolutely not.
How would Joe go about it?
Find a... probably like a street person, like some kind of homeless person. And I'm saying this purely like
This is all hypothetical.
This is all hypothetical. This is in Minecraft or whatever. I would find a street person that has like a heroin or some kind of addiction and just pay them in that drug until they overdosed.
You say this is in Minecraft?
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to say. Because,
really?
Yeah, because they can't prosecute you because it's not an actual threat if you say
Well,
it's
as
in
long as you
Minecraft.
don't go out and fake your own death and murder a homeless person in your place.
But that's why I'm saying this is theoretical because it's in Minecraft. I would only do this while I'm playing Minecraft, which I don't actually play.
I didn't know that was like a phrase.
Yeah. So that you can't be held accountable for like saying like because it's just theoretical. It's like it's in Minecraft. So like I was in Minecraft.
It's a weird game.
Chopping all those hookers'
heads off. This is in Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, exactly.
You can use any game.
Yeah, it's whatever.
This is in Chell.
So like. In Chell, yeah, I like that actually. I'm gonna start using that.
I took off my skate. I cut off the
I
homeless
cut her
guy's
fucking
head.
fingers out. So just motivate them to use the drug until they overdose and die. Don't obviously call anybody, but take the body, fingertips, everything, dental. Try and drain as much blood out of the body as I could. Take a few of my own teeth out there. Maybe cut one of my own fingers off. Maybe a toe. And then find an old junker car, fill it with gasoline, and light it on fire. Blow it up so that everything's like pretty thoroughly charred. But the only DNA that should survive, in theory, would be my teeth or an intact finger or something like that. So they'd have enough evidence for them to believe that I'd be dead and a body. And
why would your one finger be?
Make it look like an explosion or something like that.
And they just find your one finger and your one tooth, and they're not worried about Johnny Appleseed's teeth.
No, they find a charred body, but like it's easy to it's hard to identify a body from just going up to it being like, oh, DNA, because you need something to balance it off of. DNA is reliable, but it's not perfect. Whereas like fingerprint technology and dental records are the easiest way to identify a body without much else.
So you would just leave a tooth and a fingertip in there.
Yeah. And
after the fire,
with the dead body in there, yes, and then just hide out for a while. Probably grow a beard, change my appearance dramatically.
You think that would work?
Probably. I mean, that would be my. I would probably get.
You just came up with that off the cuff, or
yeah.
That's fair for off the cuff, but it's.
Where do you see the flaws?
Just that there's a random fingertip and tooth, and they're gonna assimilate this to you. Are you cutting off one of his fingertips?
No, you're cutting all of their fingers and pulling all of their teeth and shaving all of their hair, draining as much blood out of their body as you can, so all the DNA that they could use would just be isolated to
I
like
understand
a couple
that,
of teeth.
but they're just gonna find this random severed finger that's still intact and be like, "This is this guy's."
Is this really what you're getting hung up on? Yes, that's exactly what they're gonna do.
That's exactly what I'm getting hung up on.
That's what you're getting. You're a fucking idiot. How do you think they do forensic fucking investigations? No, like, I mean, really, like,
because there's a fucking fire and there's your random fingertip here, and all the other fingertips are gone, but this one's here, and they're not gonna be like, "This is weird. Why are all of his fingertips?"
Char it up, burned it. Like you don't have to make it look like I'm not like cutting.
Would you stick your one tooth in there, just jam it in there?
No, I would like just scatter it about askew. Like no,
I think they would be like, "This is fucking." You would get caught.
I would not get caught. I would be.
You're the fucking idiot. You're okay,
brilliant. Tell me how you.
I don't have one. I'm asking you. I'm trying to get some ideas here.
No, come on. Tell me how to fake a death that you think is like Teflon. Who would you think faked a death that's pretty good? Because I
don't know. They can always get caught. To me, the ones that intrigue me are like the bodies of water, where like they, where you could the plausible deniability where it's like a flowing body of water, like he got flushed out to fucking sea, but they always get caught later because they slip up.
Yeah.
In real life.
Also, like tidal currents are predictable, and you can like find like buoys and shit that have like.
Those are the ones where I'm like, that's pretty smart.
You think like
I get the whole burning the body and all of that, but it's just the small detail that I am hung up on is just the random tooth and fingertip, and they're gonna be like, I guess this came off in the explosion. Like it's just like seems It's not that wouldn't work. I just feel like you need to iron out that minor detail before you do this.
What is there to iron out, though? It's just like it's not that I'm
you
mad.
You have to sew your fingers onto his. And cutting off a finger is extreme. Fucking now you're fingerless.
No, you're not like all of them. It's like
just the one you don't use that much, and then they're gonna be like,
I've done it before.
Hey, we found this pointer finger, and there's this guy in Tijuana who's missing his finger.
I don't think that's gonna be the identifying factor.
And a tooth. You're just gonna rip out a fucking tooth.
A molar.
You're committing to the bit.
If I didn't have financial gain, if I was gonna do it just for the sake of doing it, though.
Or what if you had to hide?
What do you mean?
I think you just fake suicide, right? Like
just like that's the other thing. Just drive out to a fucking dock or something like that. Like have
leave a note,
a couple empty bags of cement or something like that.
Concrete sneakers.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I guess that would work too.
It's your original plan is, while it's flawed in that one detail, it's, if they have a body, I feel like you're more likely for them to believe it in a sense.
Yeah.
Versus the whole like no body, like, oh, he just got swept out to sea. Like it's kind of like they're like, But if they can find a body, that's in your court. That's in your favor for sure.
I can't wait to hear, because now I am genuinely curious, because I got real defensive about that. I can't wait to hear.
This is a master plan, you motherfucker.
No, I can't wait to hear Seavers being like, both of your like his reason and your fucking plan are both retarded.
What reason?
Your finding of the whole, like the flaw in my logic, like that reason and my
it just stuck
logic.
out to me. I was all on board until you were like, and then I cut off one of my fingertips and I sew it onto his.
I think it's easier because I actually have cut my fingertip off. Like it's not that bad.
I'm picturing you just like the Wendy's chili in 2005 where someone just found a finger in it, like you just cutting off your finger and just chucking it in there.
That person actually cut their finger off and did that. That was like a scam. Or it might not have been they cut their own finger off. I think they worked at a morgue or something like that and just had a finger on hand.
Eesh. You're just turning my tummy today.
Oh, man.
Imagine cutting a finger off.
I have. I've done that. I've literally done that.
No, I'm saying you work in the morgue and you just get the fucking the snips out and you're just like...
That would be pretty cool.
No.
You don't want to
I don't like
that.
it. I'm not into that stuff.
Oh, dude, I've always...
I don't like peeling apart a rotisserie chicken because it has bones. It just skeeves me the fuck out. And you see those little riblet fucking... Ugh. Not for me, dude.
Just for fun, once in a while...
Someone just beeped.
Probably stew.
It's probably your fucking Scatterican neighbors. Can you say that?
You got some real brown backs over
my
there.
grandma says it all the time.
What,
So
Scatterican?
yeah, I think it's definitely racist as fuck.
Probably. No, there's it took them all 3 days to turn it into fucking Mexico. Down there.
That's pretty cool.
Why is there garbage
lads.
on a tree? Like did you see that?
I didn't take a look yet.
There's 4 garbage bags.
The lads are usually pretty solid neighbors. They just have big gatherings. And
they have a soccer fucking goal put up, but they have a treadmill on the front porch, and then there's 4 garbage bags that are just around a tree. And I'm like, you guys haven't been here long enough.
These are some rogue lads, dude. Normally the lads...
Stop ladding. You're not Shane Gillis.
Nah, the lads for Mexican dudes is a great term.
That is not.
It is.
Call them beaners like a normal person.
Jesus Christ, dude. I know I'm not
Brown
Shane Gillis,
noses.
but you're not fucking...
Matt McCusker.
I was going to say Hunter S. Thompson, but...
I kind of am.
I hate you, dude.
I do
This
too.
podcast is
I
over,
do
dude. I'm
too.
breaking up with you.
Sweet.
I'm going solo. I can totally hold a conversation with myself for an hour.
What would a solo cast for you be?
I can't do it.
NASCAR?
I can't do it.
Really?
No, I freeze up. I have nothing viable to say.
Yeah, you do.
No.
Don't be so hard on yourself, man.
When you go to the bathroom, I've tried several times. I'm just like, so.
It'd be funny. I go to the bathroom, you pee your pants.
Like the fucking Simpsons meme or whatever.
Yeah, Ralph.
I'm in danger.
Why does everybody leave me?
Yeah, I couldn't do a solo. I don't have anything to fucking talk about. Just me like yelling.
Yeah. You
That
yelling
was
about
fucking bullshit the other day.
You yelling
Just me
about
getting
DoorDash?
angry. Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I guess I could do that, but no.
Do you watch like a lot of vloggers that like they do I know there are dash vloggers where you're like, these are people that are in bigger markets that are successful and like are able to like make a
That
bigger...
niche blew up a couple years ago.
Are they still successful on YouTube or like
There's
mixed media?
definitely people still making money, but like the whole vlogging while working, it's became tired. Even the people making those videos are like tired of making them because it's literally the same thing. Like, I got this order, it was good.
Okay.
I got this order, it stunk.
I have had a few hit my algorithm.
These people aren't tipping. Like,
yeah, it's
like, I like Pedro DoorDash Santiago. I like Nugs, Nuggs, but Nugs is funny. You probably like his stuff.
There was one. It was like a chick, and her voice it was like glass or like nails.
It's not interesting. Like,
that's just it. Like, because like I get poker ones
it's
too.
like,
And I'm
I
like,
got this order. It's $10 going 2.4 miles. That's $2 a mile. It's pretty good money.
Like, I
it's just like nothing to fucking.
I get the poker ones, and the poker ones are sometimes like you always say, like inside baseball. Like sometimes it is a little inside baseball. Like there's this one dude, Poker Brandon, that I follow, and I follow him on the BLACKTOOth
They
page
numb
too.
my brain when they do hand breakdowns.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, this is too much. Like that's how you feel when I talk about DoorDash.
Well,
that's
just it. Like where they're explaining like pot odds ratios and shit like that. Like where you're trying to figure out like what a call is worth right now, like, you know, versus what you've invested already. Like, when they're doing shit like that, I understand where you've instantly lost most of your audience, like almost immediately losing, like, even though it's cool, even though it's a large sum of money, even though it's gambling, it's like they just want to watch someone spin the roulette wheel and win like 50 grand. Like, this is not for them. But like the DoorDash one, it's like I did see the marketability of it being kind of like having a little bit of personality with your order and whatnot. But then this chick is just like, well, today I had 4 items for $12, which equals out to $3 an item, plus the mileage and gas expense, which I factor in at 14%. I'm like, get to the fucking like
no
point of this. And it's like, it's always just, well, I think that one went pretty well. And I'm like, I just dislike every one of her fucking shorts.
It's
frustrating.
It's a pretty tired concept, but you know,
get a personality.
Nugs is funny.
Why is he funny?
Keeps things relevant. So like the Pedro DoorDash Santiago, he drops a video like every day, every other day, and it's more like raw and like it's just him ranting in the car. But he tries to keep things, you know, different, like not as repetitive as like I made $200 today, da da da. Like he tries to be informative and blah blah blah. It's a good watch if you're a gig worker, but if you don't work for it, it's like their audience is
it's niche
gig workers. Like you're not gonna watch this guy ranting about the flaws of gig work apps if you're not working that. You know what I mean? It's not really for you. It wouldn't make sense. But the Nugs guy, he drops like maybe once a month, but it's more of like a, you know, a long form edited, like just funny videos. I don't know. He's a funny dude. I don't know. And it's usually pertaining to gig work. He has kind of strayed a little bit. He even went as far as, I think 6 months ago, he's like, I'm not making DoorDash content anymore.
Why is that? Just
because it was like so repetitive. He's like, I still DoorDash part-time, you know what I mean? But it gets pretty boring being like, I got a $7 order from McDonald's. Like,
I have an idea for, we could do this in concept and then we can make a YouTube channel around it to publicize it. But what if we do Whoredash and we get a bunch of whores and we drive from door to door and we dash them?
What's dash them mean? We pimp them out?
Yeah.
I think that goes against TOS of YouTube.
Why can't we do that? Would DoorDash have a problem with us using their app to try and...
Oh, you're saying when you do delivery, you're like, hey, I know you ordered Tony Beef, but I have Tony Queef.
I know you kids want some chicken McNuggets.
It's like a 13-year-old girl.
Oh, you mean the girl I'm delivering?
No. I meant the girl you're delivering to. Oh. It's just like, hey, I have candy right here. It's just like a 40-year-old smoking a cigarette. This kid's like,
this is your future,
Mom. Whoredash.
I want to do Whoredash.
I had one last night. It was like midnight, and I had to deliver to like the youth center, and it was like, don't go to the front door, deliver to the back door. The one right by the county jail.
Where's the youth center?
Right by the county jail in Cape May.
Where? Like
you drive past the county jail, and it's like 3 doors down to the right. It's just like, I think it's for like youths that are like dishomed or whatever. Like, you know, like I don't exactly know. Like, I think my buddy in high school lived there for a few months, but I'm not positive.
It's like a halfway house for fucking high schoolers, right? Like, okay,
it's like they have a fucked up family and they have nowhere to go, but they don't want to go to an orphanage or whatever the fuck you do at that age. It's for like teenagers.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And my buddy lived there for like 3 or 6 months or something, and they would send him to high school every day in an Apple cab, and like he just continued to live life as normal, just at this. It's just like a safe place, like you said, a halfway house where you check in.
There was a kid that he was in Compact because he took too many mushrooms and locked himself in a locker at school. And I did
that once, kind of.
They like kicked him out of school.
Who hasn't taken too many mushrooms, had mental breakdowns? Like,
the best
to write a passage.
It's the best part of psychedelics is having an absolute fucking.
Is scaring your family, dude.
It's starting a rap career or a podcast.
Small aside, was thinking about one of my many fuck ups during that time period, and it just reminded me of it because Facebook, I guess it reactivated my old account, and it keeps trying to get me to like log in. It sends me like notifications like, hey Jake, see what your friends are up to, and I'm like, I don't want to go on that account because it's all my fucking unintelligible ramblings.
Nice.
But that popped up, and for some reason it just had the flashback to when I was having this mental breakdown trying to explain to my mom that death isn't real, it's a human concept, and that it's all in your mindset, and that if you think positive you'll live forever, and all this insane ramblings to the point where she was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, it was making her very upset. She called my aunt. She's like, he's fucking crazy. I'm very drunk and very I took mushrooms like 2 weeks ago. I'm still like frying. I'm gone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm having a complete mental breakdown, and I thought I had ascended and reached Christ consciousness, all this shit, which I very well may have. I took a copious amount of fucking hallucinogens.
Yeah, you did a hero dose. That's definitely.
I did several hero doses for like a week straight.
You did the fucking fantastic. You did the Avengers dose.
Dude, it was fucked up. But she wasn't buying into my tangent, so I got very upset. And to prove to her that death wasn't real, I got in my 2001 Toyota Camry, drove onto the front lawn, and did about 50 donuts in the front yard. Destroyed the front lawn. And it was a perfect circle. So there was just a perfect circle in the front yard for like 2 years.
It's all connected, Ma!
Oh my God. It was horrible. And she just came out and said, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, death isn't real. My neighbor was home. He's just like, probably like, what the fuck? It was a dark time. But then the old landlord was in the process of trying to sell the house. And I was like outside hacking a dart or something one day, and he pulled up and he was just like, what's going on with the lawn, man? And I was like, yeah, I did that. I was still like off my rocker a little bit. I was like, yeah, I got in an argument with my mom. I had to prove a point. So, yeah, it won't happen again. He was just like, all right. Like, he was a retired cop. He was definitely like, this kid's on drugs, dude. What the fuck?
Actually, you just made me go off on a little tangent right there about mushrooms. The first time I ever did mushrooms, there was this guy who was a friend of one of my roommates. My roommate, I won't say anybody's name, but anyway, my roommate called him up because he
Swim.
He knew he was the guy that you ever see like those comical pictures of like the cartoonish drug dealers from like the 70s that had like a dude in a big trench coat and they open everything up. This guy literally was like that. He showed up at our
uppers, downers, rollers, slowers.
Showed up with like coke, Molly, like ecstasy pills, fucking shrooms, heroin, like literally everything that I could name. Dude, he had barbiturates that are like exotics from like Canada and like shit like that. He's like,
that's Zaza Roofie.
Yeah, dude, it's like he's like these are like designer barbiturates that like you normally like you take like a Xanax or like a like whatever and it like just slows you down. But they like are like starting to get to a point where they can like figure out these like neurological pinpoints. They'll slow you down in specific ways so you can still like talk functionally, but your brain's drunk. It's fucking weird. It's
pretty cool.
But yeah, anyway. This guy shows up. He has shrooms. Everybody in our dorm decides to go in on an ounce of shrooms. So my first time doing shrooms, I do like 2 grams, which
perfect.
Is like the ideal amount. And
it was perfect until I took more.
Well, I was good. Everyone that was with me decided to, pilfer the hen house a little bit further, and we're, like, this ain't shit. Took like a couple extra caps and stems. And everybody else freaked out except me. And I was fine. I was having a blast.
2
on
grams
shrooms.
was fun,
dude.
man.
I was on. So I was in a car. We were trying to smoke a blunt with these kids. At one point, they're all freaking out because they're like, the windows are tripping them up, and like, I'm like, I can't be around these people right now. Like, I just want to go like sit down and like stare at like something. And sure enough, James and Mark are hanging out, and they're like, "What's up with you?" And I'm like, "Can you not see?" And they're like, "Oh, we can see. Like, let's go." They put me on a nice comfy bed. And I'm staring up at the popcorn ceiling and watching like the walls breathe and everything ripple. It was just real pleasant. But James had the food card, like, because everybody has like payment plans for their meals or whatever. James had like the premium one. So once in a while, when people were like short on meals, they would come and be like, "Yo, James, like, I'll get you something back if you just like get me today for a meal or whatever." And he's like, "Yeah, not a problem." So this kid Chuck we knew was like, "I need to get a meal. Could I like borrow the meal card? I'll get you tomorrow." And he's like, James was like, "Yeah, no problem." He's like, "Yeah, but you got to get something for like everybody here because Joe's on drugs and we got to babysit him." And he's like, "Not a problem." So like 40 minutes go by. Chuck comes back and he's like divvying out like, cheese nips for Mark. James got like a hoagie. Like Chuck got himself some food. And he's like, "And I have something perfect for you." He comes right up to me, grabs my hand, puts in my hand a push pop.
I How nutritious? Did you love it?
I was having a blast with that.
Just fucking sucking on it, dude. They're so good.
I forget that the cap is retractable, and like I was at that spring-loaded. Dude, I was having a blast with that. So I'm now staring.
I haven't had a good push pop in fucking years.
Dude, I'm staring at the ceiling, just enjoying my push pop and like having a blast with it. But I'm wearing a flannel shirt that has like a breast pocket. And if you remember correctly, push pops have that little pen thing
so
that you can put it in something. So I was putting it in my pocket, and I was real smitten on that I had the perfect shirt to wear my push pop. And I wanted to tell Chuck, who is, mind you, like mid conversation with one of my roommates, and like he's just like blah 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 blah. Chuck, hey Chuck, and like a little kid, he's just like eventually he's just like fuck what, and I'm like. I look down and I'm like, my push pop's staring at me. And like everyone in the room is like, the fuck you just say? Like literally it was the dumbest thing I've ever uttered. But
a push pop staring at me.
They're like, don't look it in the eyes. Don't you try and produce the podcast there, big paws.
Oh, just look at my crotch.
I know, you smell good.
Just took a shower. My clean bag.
You got a clean satchel.
Yeah, I think I talked about it on here where 2 grams was like perfect. I was having like so much fun.
The ideal dose.
And,
Would you get down?
I thought she's fine. I thought, obviously, my rendition of psychedelics, I thought it was gonna be like the movies where I'm gonna be like seeing fucking purple dragons coming out of the ceilings and shit. So I asked my trip sitter, I said, I'm on 2 grams, having a blast. This is perfect. Like I was scared of it, and now I'm not scared of it. I'm having fun. Like this is great. And I said to him, I'm feeling a little bold, and I'm like, well, how much do I gotta take to like start seeing shit? Like I want to see some shit. And he's like, you gotta take a lot to see some shit. So the first I measured, I weighed a gram, I took that, I waited like an hour, I took a 2nd gram, and now I'm like, whoa, like this is, colors look brighter and shit.
Yeah,
this is fun. We're having a great time. And then he says that comment, he's like, you gotta take a lot more to start seeing some shit. And I'm like, challenge accepted. So I proceed to eat 3.7 grams. I didn't weigh it. I checked it the next morning, and I was like, I ate 5.7 grams total.
So
I ate 3.7 after the 2.
You ate an 1/8 and then some fun.
So I had 2 first, and then I ate basically a heavy 1/8 after that. So I did a heroic dose.
That is a hero dose.
5 is the heroic dose. I didn't eat it all at once, but I ate it all within like 2 hour span. And yeah, shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't take 5 grams your first time. I don't think you should really ever take 5 grams. I like died at one point. I literally died. Everything was white. I thought I was dead.
That's the best part.
I whited out. First time tripping. Apparently whiting out is like the max you can go on tripping. And I whited out the first time. And yeah, I wouldn't advise that. And I think less is more with psychedelics. I think they're beneficial. I'm too scared to do them now, but I think they honestly, at this point, with my anxiety and my temper and all that, I think if I took a small dose of shrooms, it might set me right. But like, I got a kid and shit now. Like I can't.
Back to the hero dose thing about like the whiting out, because like the most I ever took was like 3.5, but it was like these like shrooms that came from like Canada. This guy Sean that we knew had them and was just like,
fucking wicked shit.
They were like called like White Widows or something like that. But yeah,
White Rhino, I think.
Yeah, White Rhino, that might have been it. They're like real small, stout ones, so it kind of like tricks you, because I'm used to them being like long and stemmy and kind of like dried out. These look like little fucking like capsules.
Penis envy.
Yeah. So you can like just pop the whole bag, and I bought a quarter or an 1/8 off of them. So I'm like, all right, fuck it, down the hatch, and I took them. And he's like, you didn't really take that whole 1/8, did you? And I'm like, yeah, not a problem. He's
Strap in, buddy.
He's like, you're not gonna go dark. Like it's not gonna go dark, and I don't think you're gonna like be anywhere near like a hero dose, like, but you might white out. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, so like in about like 45 minutes when you feel the come up, just make sure you have like water and like someone that if you fall over you don't hit your head on something. I'm like, not a problem. Sure enough, my roommate at the time, I won't say which one, got a bunch of blow, and I had my shrooms, and he's like, what are you up to? I'm like, I just took about 1/8 of shrooms. What are you up to? He's like, I just bought an 8-ball. I'm like, you want to hang out? He's like, hell yeah. So it's me on the most shrooms I've ever been on in my life, and around like eight fucking people having a Coke party, and like
it's a bad vibe.
It was the best vibe. I did white out at one point. I was like, I told everybody, I was like, I need to excuse myself for like 5 minutes, and they're like, yeah, not a problem. And then sure enough, like I went into my room, I'm like sitting there, I'm staring at the ceiling and everything, and Mark, my savior, who wasn't doing blow, comes in, he's like, let's go back over there, because
you said you whited out like everything was white.
It was like you were staring at a white room where you turn the opacity up so like I could find texture in like that I knew. All right, so like I'm on my bed. I knew that the linen would like feel a certain way, but then past where that linen was, it was just the abyss. Like everything was just like it was like
everything. It was like I was in purgatory. Everything was white.
Yeah, it's like
there was no any reality. Like my eyes were shut, my ears were ringing, and everything was just white. Like I thought I was dead. And then I came to at a certain point and had to Google like, can you die from mushrooms? And then I ended up listening to this funny fucking Bill Hicks bit about how like mushrooms can't kill you, but it had this weird laugh track in the background, like a purposely trippy one.
Yeah.
But I thought it was just me hearing it, and I had like another fucking panic attack.
Oh Jesus.
But yeah, that like I thought you were saying like you know, you say like green out for weed. Like I thought you were being like, oh, I just got too high. Like when I say white out, I mean like there was no vision. My ears were ringing and everything. It was just white. Like
this was like this wasn't like just white, but like I said, like I was sitting on my bed and there could like make out the like tapestry that like of the linen that I was on. Like I knew that was where I was located, but everything past the edge of my bed and beyond, it was just like staring off into the ocean.
Weird. That's slightly different.
It was like a very visually, but like there was no audio hallucination to it. So like I knew I was still like safe, but it was like you know when I
couldn't hear or see. My ears were ringing so loud.
You know when you like stare into two mirrors that are facing each other, it's just like whoa, like it was like that, but like if you like looked out over the horizon, kind of more like that. But anyway, so. Mark comes and finds me. He gets me back to where I need to be, and we go back to the party. And we're in there, and everybody's like, you know, chatting it up, doing blow, drinking and whatnot. Mark's like, "How you feeling, buddy?" And I'm like, "Actually, like, I'm not too bad. Like, I'm pretty good, like, for where I'm at." And he's like, you know, like, do you need anything? Like, do you need? And he notices I'm staring off at my roommate's posters. There's a picture of Jack Nicholson from The Shining, and then the Kramer from Seinfeld, like the painting of Kramer, and. It's Nicholson facing the direction the poster's oriented is kind of near the Kramer. So I go, Mark's like, how you feeling? Do you need anything? I was like, what do you think Nicholson's telling Kramer? And he's like, the fuck did you just say? And like, they like shut the music off for a second. He's like, no, tell all them. I was like, I don't know. He's like, you just ask what Nicholson's talking to Kramer about. Everybody's like, you fucking idiot. And then they're all like, you're having a blast, aren't you? Get over here. I was good. I was like Gucci. But yeah.
Did you partake in the?
No, never.
I was gonna say cocaine and mushrooms sounds like a weird mix.
They call it I think it's called hippie flipping, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Or no, that's mushrooms.
Candy flipping.
Yeah, candy flipping. Mushrooms and
Molly.
Acid and Molly is candy flipping. Mushrooms and Molly is hippie flipping. Xanax and
gay.
Molly is
you're gonna die.
Well, yeah, you are gonna die. It's something.
Whitney Houston flipping.
No, I was gonna say it's called like the Candy Crunch or something like that. No,
that's gay.
Yeah, there's a couple that have real dumb scene. Like you can tell it's like people that are at like EDM festivals.
Doesn't say I hate that shit.
Speaking of EDM festivals, do you hear of any good ones? Perhaps in Gaza?
No, I don't know anything about that shit. I don't know anything about it.
I don't
remotely.
care. No comment.
I don't want to know. I don't know nothing. I don't want to know nothing.
Bunch of them. Well, actually, a bunch of them.
I don't want to hear about hummus no more.
Bunch of them are going under some surgery. They're getting a lot of limb removed.
Selling them for $15K a pop.
15K a pop.
15, Lee. We can make a fortune.
And you know what? Libya's going to be on the map.
The best part is about like the kid when he was like, yeah, you got to take a lot to fucking start seeing shit. He was supposed to hang with me for the night. And then around like 2 a.m. when it was really starting to kick in, he's like, you're good if I head home, right? I got work in the morning. And
what?
I was like, I was alone.
He just abandoned you?
See, it hadn't fully hit yet. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I'm fine. Like, I didn't want to be a burden. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. He might have fucked with me more if I was freaking out while he was there. So I think it worked out fine. I was there by myself. But, like, I was just like, damn. When he left, I was just sitting there, damn, I'm all by myself now. Like, this is fucking... And that's when shit got... It was fun. I was like, damn, yeah. I was scared to do this for months, and I finally did it. And I'm Snapchatting my buddies. I'm like, yo, I'm so fucked up. This shit's awesome, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, 3 hours later, I'm like, doom! Everything's white. My ears are fucking ringing. Yeah. And then, like, 5 a.m. or whatever, I come to, and I'm like, I put on this fucking rap album I liked at the time, and I just sat at my table, just smoked, like, a fucking quarter ounce of weed to the head, and, like, it just kind of set me right, and then I slept for, like, 12 hours.
You get the best sleep.
Called out of work. Felt amazing. Afterglow like a motherfucker. And where I went wrong was Trout came over and was like, yo, heard you got these shrooms. And I was like, yeah, I'll do them with you. And then like it just became this rotating carousel of like I had shrooms and then like buddies wanted to do them and I'd be like I'll do them too, and like for like a week straight, and then it just devolved into me at home by myself like I'll take a handful. Like I was just eating them like potato chips, and like
that's always good. Like when you're
no regrets, but like it definitely went a little too hard. And then I had buddies after that, like my one friend, he was taking acid like all the time, and like they were doing it at work and stuff, and like the type of job he was working, like shouldn't be out on any type of drugs, shouldn't even be smoking a weed pen.
I don't think there's many jobs where you should be on acid.
Now this is a job where like you might have to fucking
save somebody's life.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's
And they were just frying on acid like weekly.
Is this a lifeguard?
I'm not going to confirm nor deny. Allegedly. Now on Minecraft, this kid was a lifeguard.
Okay.
But yeah, they were taking it all the time, weekly, and I was sober off booze at this point, and I don't have anything against psychedelics. Fucking have fun. But I said you should probably realistically only trip once to maybe twice a year. You got to let your brain reset. You can't be doing acid weekly. Like it's just not. It's gonna fry out your fucking thinky chemicals. Like it floods your serotonin, then it kind of your brain naturally downregulates the production of serotonin. So then you kind of have this. Once you come crashing down, then it's really down. And I was just like, you kind of get a little weird when you're taking that shit all the time. Like it happened to me. And he was. And I think it lasted for like maybe that one summer. And they had like a bad trip at work or something and just stopped. He's like, that shit's bad. Like I'm just going to smoke pot again. I'm like, yeah. Nothing wrong with psychedelics. But like I was like, bro, moderation. Less is more. Like you don't have to take 2 tabs, just take 1. You don't have to take the whole eighth, just take half, split an eighth with your friend. You're gonna have a better time than being like melted into your fucking. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the macro dose. People do like the fried nutsack, but me personally, and even with weed, I've been noticing lately, like instead of smoking like 3/4 of a blunt to myself, I'll just take like 10 hits or something and then put it down, and it's like a much more enjoyable experience than being like fried out of my gourd and like uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like. So yeah, definitely with psychedelics, less is more.
One of the kids that I live with in Colorado, he had this friend, and he was like a senator's son. Like I said, it's the easiest way of putting it. Like, he was like literally some politician's kid, and the kid was a fuck up, so he sent him to Copper Mountain, got him a job there. Through his like basically had a job where he couldn't get fired from, but he worked his hardest to try and get fired from that job. To the point of he went and bought something like 2 milliliters of acid or something, like an absurd amount of fucking acid that was like in a vial, that he would just go to parties and like walk around and be like, I don't know how much this is, hold out your hand, and would just like put a fucking drop of acid into the palm of your hand.
And what, you just lick it?
It absorbs into your hand, like it will fucking go through your skin, like if you just hold it.
Is that the whole, remember the myth that, I don't know if it was a myth, but that Jimmy had acid on his headband or something. It would melt right into his third eye, man.
Yeah, like most of the time.
I didn't know you could take it subdermally.
I mean, it's not like that you're supposed to. I think you're supposed to have like some kind of like subdermal patch, like you take like a nicotine patch or something like that, and then take the nicotine part off.
Couldn't you just put it under your tongue? And
you could also just do that too. Like, well, what he would do is like if you weren't paying attention at the bar, he would do your beer. And
that's fucked up.
And most of the time, he would get you way heavier than you knew you were, like than you were dosed. And there was like this guy.
He would tell you, I'm dosing your beer?
Yes, he told me, but there was some people that he didn't, and he got this guy.
That's fucked up.
Real fucking bad. This guy, he got him, like, the guy was like in his like 60s. He was like one of the older ski patrol guys. And he I guess was like beefing with this kid, and the kid was like, I'm gonna fucking show him or whatever, and they gave him something that had acid in it, and then we're all chilling in the fucking lobby of the Edge, like hanging out, shooting pool and whatnot. This guy comes down in nothing but a vest and his underwear, and he's wandering around with his eyes just like, completely gacked.
I don't like that shit.
And he's just like, I have never felt this good in my life, and like is walking around. You got walked immediately outside into like knee deep snow and fell down. Had to have an ambulance called for him, and like sure enough, they figured out he was on acid. They never figured out how he got the acid or who gave him the acid, but like, yeah, it was this kid. It was like that shit's like real fucked up. But like, yeah, same thing.
Can you imagine? You're just like chilling, and then all of a sudden you start tripping. And that's fucking terrifying.
It is terrifying.
I would think I'm having a medical emergency. Like I would go to the hospital. I'd be like, I'm having a stroke right now. Like
They said that same kid that bringing it back because we got to wrap up. We're at an hour 45, but the same kid that introduced me to the Silk Road told me this one time. He's like, that's got to be one of the biggest paranoias about like live music, especially like EDM performers. Is like you can't ask somebody for like a bottle of water or like a stick of gum or like a cigarette even, because like you don't know if this is like their like weird fucking hiding spot for whatever it is that they're doing. And like that,
I've heard of the Molly water.
yeah, the one that was big was the you would ask someone for a piece of gum and you wrap up the hits of acid in the gum wrapper, and sometimes if it was like late enough in the night when you've been dancing and your cigarettes or your gum pack or whatever get like all fucking like
Sweaty, like
it's
melts through.
it melts through, and you'll like go to smoke a cigarette and you're like, oh shit, I'm tripping. Like it's
Whack.
yeah. Ravers are fucking idiots, by the way. Now that I'm not engaged with Sony anymore, like not the fucking news or whatever, it's almost a year now. Give myself one
You still love her?
No. I get to tell. Antifa's fucking retarded. The environment is gay, and I don't like fucking soccer. Go fuck yourself. But no, the biggest one is that EDM sucks and that raves are gay and that like
She like that stuff?
loved it. She used to tell me all about like how like
She
raving,
probably grew up in like the ecstasy era in like
Yeah.
the 90s where
Yeah.
it was like
We're-
also gay, but
yeah, exactly. It's also gay. Going to protests is gay.
Techno,
Like,
Euro
getting shot
techno.
by getting shot by a cop because you wanted to fucking go to a part. I want to go to the anarchist D&B.
It's gay.
What is it? Drum and bass? Yeah, that whatever. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. Rammstein stinks.
Rammstein's alright. Du Hast. Fucking
Du hast mich.
yeah, it's alright.
Don't
I think Grilly
Don't you start.
Grilly went and saw them, I think in Camden this summer.
It's not a
They
bad
probably
band.
put on a fun show.
They do. They're in. You've probably seen Triple X, right?
Oh yeah.
They're the band in the beginning of Triple X.
Yeah.
That's like got all the flamethrowers and stuff.
Pretty badass. I only know that one song.
Dude, she is such a sloppy dog. Man.
Hello puppy. Hello puppy.
She missed you. She missed you so much, man.
Hello.
She's been getting a lot of my
I
dad.
saw a fucking coyote bigger than her the other day.
Bro,
Walking
where?
down my street. I was sitting in my car, I think smoking or rolling a blunt, and I thought it was someone's. Out of the corner of my eye, it was so big, and like the fur pattern, it wasn't white, but like just the contrast between the two fur colors. I thought it was a husky.
Yeah.
I thought it was someone's pet husky just wandering down the street, and I was like, oh shit, someone's dog. And I looked over and like made eye contact with it, and that thing was a brown wolf. Like that was a coyote. It was a alpha male coyote. I've seen coyotes. They're normally not that big or threatening.
Yeah.
This thing was like the size of Hank.
Yeah.
And it was like, it would fucking murk me, like if it wanted to. And I was trying to get a video of it, so I opened the car door. It was a good 20 feet away at this point, so had it turned and charged, I could have just shut the car door or whatever, but as soon as I opened the car door, it bolted, just shuffled off into the woods. But then like 20 minutes later, I was sitting in my car smoking, and I was hearing it like yipping, like that little weird,
Oh, that whistle thing they
that
do?
like howl. Yeah. It freaked me out. I've seen one far away down the end of my street, like the dead end. At night, I've seen like one walk across or something. I'm like, whatever. But I've never seen it just like,
Chilling.
this thing was just a light trot down the middle of the street, like it owned the fucking street. And it just like looked over at me and was like, what's up, pussy? Like it just wasn't fazed by me. Like looked right at me in the car, and I was just like, my first thought was like, that's a wolf. And I'm like, no, it's a fucking coyote.
First thought was I want to suck it off.
Yeah, it was huge. It was cool, but it was also like freaky because I'm like, now I gotta walk 20 feet inside, and what if this thing just fucking jacks me? Like, and now every time at night when I'm like going to walk from the car to the house, I'm like, just running. Like,
Are you afraid
they
of?
typically don't hurt humans, but
Are you afraid of like night things, like you know, like growing, like you're like, I don't know what's out in the woods, I'm gonna run to the house real quick from the car?
no, typically not.
Just that
I
one
used to go on like
specifically?
long walks with Rocky down to the dead end and like in woodsy, dark, fucking sketchy. I mean, Rocky would be my eyes and ears in that scenario, but typically no. There's not very many predators out here except fucking coyotes. That's kind of
Meth
freaky to
heads.
have a big coyote fucking roll up on you. Like, I used to, before I was working at night and stuff, I would roll a blunt, walk to the fucking bridge and back, or I'd walk around the neighborhood or something. I would go on like a nightly, like couple mile walk, and like had this thing strolled up on me then when I'm like away from anything to hide, like
Yeah.
I don't know what I would have done. I would have shit my fucking pants. Like they say, like get big or get scary. Like I don't know what I would have done. I don't think, like you said, they're not typically gonna. But Brendan Shepard said after I posted that, he replied, he was like, fuck them. Like I've had them chase me on my dirt bike, and I've had, he was in a deer stand in the woods, and a whole pack of them was like at the bottom of the deer, like menacingly.
A pack's a different story. Like if there's like more than one of them, yeah, fucking more than one of like any animal, you should probably turn.
Multiple people were like, you should have killed it. Like apparently,
what?
Yeah, Port was like, oh, shoot it. And I was like, I don't have a gun. Like what? And he's like, you should have ran it over with your car. In the like the fish and wildlife community, like the hunting, like that type of thing, coyotes are like a no-go. Like you should just kill them on site, really? Especially in the farming sphere.
I know that.
Apparently they cause a fucking ruckus as far as livestock goes. Like it always comes up in my algorithm where it's like a reel of a coyote getting like shot in the face by a high-res fucking sniper rifle or whatever that
night vision.
Yeah, like that weird fucking.
I know exactly what you're talking about. The one dude domes that one, and you can see his head.
But I see them all the time now, and I'm like, I don't like this. Like, they freak me out, but they are fucking cool. Like, it was pretty fucking majestic as it strolled by, and then immediate panic set in. So then, of course, I took a video, and I was like, what the fuck was that? But yeah, big old fucking coyote right in my neighborhood.
I'm always more afraid of meth heads, like I've said that before. But there's like a couple of days ago, we can wrap. I
haven't been afraid of meth heads when I'm walking in the woods around here anyway.
I am.
Isn't that the thing in the pines? That's why people disappear in the pines, because it's just like rogue fucking meth people.
Well, yeah, that and the Jackson Whites and like fucking what
the Jackson White's still out there.
Jackson Whites are like they're the goddamn
the albino fucking
the Hessians or whatever. They like the fucking Native Americans bred so fucking inbred or whatever they turn white. Yeah, that shit. And there's also apparently the Appalachian Blues, but no, it was more fucking snakes and shit that I'm afraid of at night, because I don't want to step on a coiled one and then get bit by it and then not be able to. Not that there's many poisonous snakes around here. But I just don't want to. You have to identify what the snake is that bites you, and I just don't want it to be like the off chance it's like someone's snake that got out, and it's like something venomous that you're like, well, we don't have ball python venom around here, and like I can't see where it is, so like, yeah, you're dead.
Where do you worry about stepping on them?
Oh, out front,
like Bailey Road, or
no, out front, in front of the house, like during this summer, someone ran over a green snake out on 50. And because the sun was like, I guess like directly over the house, there was like a nice little shadow on the one side of the house, and it found like a spot where it could like kind of snap its back into place up against the corner. Yeah, because someone ran it over, so it was like the top half of it was like, squiggly like a snake, and the other half had like a tire print on it, and it needed to like find a way to like straighten and elongate like its spine so it could like get it. Like the broken bones, I guess, like into a spot where they were stretched and could fit back. Yeah, like it's like an accordion. Think of it like that. So it was doing that. I walked out there and it was doing that. It was only like 4 feet long.
It was just giving himself an alignment or something?
Yeah, it was like out there doing chiropractic on itself.
Did it fix it?
I don't know. It was still pretty wonky when it scooted away.
That thing died.
The tail was, yeah, I mean, definitely. Like that tail, if it wasn't just from the succumbing.
You sure it was adjusting its back, or it was just going, what the fuck?
No, I've seen them do that before. They'll normally, like, if they just want to chill up against it, they're a little bit, like, wiggly, like, they're a little bit, like, waved out. But, like, when something's wrong with it, they straighten out and they find, like, a hard corner or, like, a hard angle and will, like, try it. Like, they naturally can't assume 90 degrees, but, like, they'll use that to, like, straighten their backs out. And, like, sometimes it's, like, a big root. I don't know. Like, I've
never noticed that. I haven't seen many snakes around here.
I've seen a ton of them.
The black ones, the
garter snakes.
Yeah,
they're cool. Corn
snakes. My old weird. I don't think he was a meth guy, but he was like a West Virginia guy. He was a trucker. My old neighbor. He used to park his fucking semi truck in the driveway. It took up like the whole fucking driveway.
Nice.
We were like 10, and there was a garter snake in the backyard. Me and like my cousins or my buddy Johnny. I forget who the fuck I was with, but. Wasn't threatening or anything. We're like, oh, snake. This guy comes out with an axe. It was like right after they moved in, and he just chops its fucking head off and like holds it up. And he's like, nice. If you don't kill them, they're gonna keep coming back. Yeah, like, he's not wrong, but as like a 10-year-old, I was like, creepy axe murderer neighbor guy.
We had some one of our, I forget whose dad it was. We were at someone's house when it was like on summer vacation when we were like 12 or 13. But I forget if it was. Snake ate rabbits and they got too fat and they got hit by a lawnmower or whatever, but someone ran over like either a snake and rabbits or a snake that ate rabbits or something like that.
Did the rabbits live?
No, not really. The snake like was in like the den or whatever, and I don't know if it was like picking them off or just like chilling and digesting or whatnot. But like this guy ran over it, and there was just this loud like. You know when you hit something with like a riding lawnmower, it's like a plastic bag. It's like it's like it sounds like a bomb going off, dude. It just like he cuts it off. He's like, what the fuck was that? There's like snake pieces all over, and then there's like little chunks of like rabbit like that are like all over the place. He's like, I think I ran over a rabbit then, but it's like we couldn't find like one intact piece of either of them enough to like. And mind you, there's like a huge fucking plume of blood on his lawn too from where it came out. Like not much, like. Not like a comical amount, but like noticeable where it's like, why is the lawn red right there? Oh, that's where we hit the fucking snake rabbit pit. Like, yeah.
AT, they're serving Chinese food.
All right. What do you got to plug?
Stewart's Handyman Service, you already know. Give him a shout. Whatever you need done to your house, he'll fucking come out and bang it out. How you doing? Stay black. 338-9427. Give him a call. How are ya?
All right, Can Man, I'll come wash your garbage cans. 609-45-3143.
I need to book you for both my sets of cans.
Not doing that.
All right. Well, fuck you, man.
Thanks for listening. Go fuck yourself.
We went long enough. We might be able to chop it in half, or you just want